Over here on the table, I've got 5 different preps that are small, relatively budget friendly, and things you might not have ever heard about or thought of a use for. So I thought we could go ahead and discuss these items to give you some more ideas about things that can make your preparedness a little bit more well-rounded. All right, the first item on this list is the ExoTac Titanlight. It's the most practical item on the list, but also the most expensive. This lighter is $60. It's waterproof and it fixes all the problems you're presented with when you try to use something like a Zippo without having to resort to a Bic. Now, I got this in my EDC Box Club, which is from EDCSpecialties.com. Make sure you check those guys out. Everything they sell is made in the USA. They got high-end knives like Chris Reeves, Medford, and I helped start the company, so I figured it's a good idea to try to support what it is they're doing over there. But what I like about this lighter is that here in the threads, you have an O-ring, which makes the lighter waterproof down to 1 meter. So you don't have to worry about this getting KO'd out of the game if it gets soaking wet, which can happen to Bics and definitely happens to Zippos. Now, the other thing I like about this lighter is that, yeah, it has some windproof attributes and stuff like that, just like a Zippo would, but it's all about where you fill it and how you fill it that makes it better than a Zippo. So down here is where the reservoir is, and it is nice and sealed up, and it's user-friendly in the sense of access. It's very easy to access, very easy to keep full, and then the way it's designed makes it so it doesn't leak. And that's the issue I had with the Zippo. I've got one right here. I filled these 2 lighters at the exact same time, and honestly, this one is already bone dry. It will not light, and I have to fill it once again. Yet, the ExoTac still has fluid going strong, so as part of your EDC and as part of even a survival kit or something like that, this is a great option. Yes, the flint is replaceable, just like with a Zippo, so honestly, it does everything a Zippo does, but better, and it doesn't leak or have any problems that you get with a Zippo. So I'm actually really impressed with this lighter. Like I said, it is $60, so it's expensive, but if you buy one of these, it's the only one you'll probably ever need, and then you can change out the flint and keep it up and running and maintain it just like you would a Zippo, except for without any of the drawbacks. So that's the first item on the list. Let's move on to the next. All right, so next is the extended battery for a Baofeng UV-5R. Now, most people have Baofeng UV-5Rs as part of their communications kit because they're very affordable and the capability they bring to the table is unmatched when it comes to their price point. Now, the thing that I think is really important about the extended battery is that, yes, it does actually extend the battery life. It allows the battery to last up to 3 days, of course, depending on use. But what I really like about it is that it allows for direct USB recharging, which you don't get with the standard UV-5R battery. You have to use a base for that, and then obviously that complicates things when it comes to trying to recharge your batteries on the fly or in a vehicle or if you're using it for a bug out bag. So these extended batteries, which I'll link this stuff below so you can see exactly what I'm talking about, but they're not that expensive. For $32, you get 2 extended batteries and you get the USB cable for charging them. So as you can see, it's just a standard USB that then has the port here which charges the battery directly. So now you can run this in your vehicle, you can run this with a solar bank, you can run this just in any configuration you want. It makes the whole thing a lot easier in the sense of keeping your power up and running in your radio, and at the same time, you actually get more battery in the process so that it will last longer, and honestly, nothing wrong with having a 3-day battery life. So these extended batteries are a game changer for the UV-5Rs, especially for preppers, because if you're running some kind of solar recharging setup in your bug out bag or whatever it is, this makes charging your communications a lot more user-friendly than trying to lug around a base and then a DC adapter and whatever else it is you have to do. So check these out. I will definitely link these below, and let's move on to the next item. So next on the list is the Matbock Skeeter Patch Kit. Now what's really cool about the Skeeter Patches is that they're basically morale patches that are highly absorbent. You spray them with bug spray that has DEET in it or eucalyptus oil or whatever you want to use, and it absorbs that chemical and distributes it for hours, and it keeps the chemicals off of your body and keeps bugs away from you. So I really like this kit. It's $32 for the kit. You get the 2 small patches and the 2 full-size morale patches. And what's really cool about that is you get to actually then attach them to anything you have hook and loop on, like my backpack right here, and that way you can have some form of keeping pests away while also still integrating directly with your kit. So you can put this on a hat that has the hook and loop patch on it. You can put this on your plate carrier. You can put it on whatever you want that has Velcro basically. So I thought this was really cool. It's kind of an innovative little design, and Mattbock does a lot of really innovative stuff. And they sent these to the channel to try out, and I actually think that they're pretty neat. Honestly, if you're gonna put morale patches on your bag or on your plate carrier, they might as well have a secondary purpose, because here in the preparedness community, we love multi-use items. So definitely check these out. I don't get paid or anything by Matbock. They sent these to me because they thought they seemed cool, and I agreed, and basically I just wanted to share these with you. But at the end of the day, They have cool like American flag style ones and stuff like that too. So if you want your stuff to look good but actually have some function to it, this is a good option for you. Now let's move on to the next item on the list to see what we're doing there. All right, next on the list is the Bravo Sierra body wipes. You get 10 of these for 10 bucks. They're extra thick antibacterial wipes that are biodegradable, individually packaged, and don't require you to rinse. So basically it's a shower in a pouch, which is really nice to have for your bug out bags or in your vehicle or something like that. Most of people rely on things like baby wipes, but this is like the real deal full size item. So on the back here, it shows you all the chemicals and everything else that are in here. They're made in the USA, which is great. And this was featured in my bug out bag video because I think it's a good option for keeping yourself clean without having to have a bar of soap or running water or something like that. And we'll go ahead and open it up so you can kind of see what we're talking about here. But basically, it's a baby wipe on steroids, which is all anyone ever wanted, right? So we unfold this here. And as you can see, it is extra, extra thick. So super thick. It smells really good. You'd be surprised by how good it smells. And it allows you to wipe yourself down with something that's not going to tear or fall apart the second you start to use it. And it's just moist enough to where you can easily wipe your entire body down and feel like you had a refresher. So I think these are a really cool product. I think this should go in everybody's get home bags, their bug out bags. And it's something you could just have with you just about anywhere because at the end of the day, if you don't get yourself into a shower within a reasonable amount of time, or you need to keep yourself up and running in the sense of a prolonged excursion, this can definitely do the job. It's very lightweight and it works. So thought I'd share that with you, and let's move on to the last item on the list. Next on the list is the Datrex emergency water pouches. Now these water packets are 12 for 14 bucks. They're 4 ounces of purified water. They get a 5-year shelf life. Really strong packaging, like extremely durable packaging, and they're perfect for things like first aid, for your general purpose pouch, even using as an ice pack because this packaging is so strong that if you freeze these, it will not tear or burst the package. So I find that to be really important in the sense of something you might leave in your vehicle, you might leave outside, or whatever it is. Now, a lot of people are wondering, like, what would you really use these for, right? Well, at the end of the day, what I like about them is that they fit into small general purpose pouches. And so if you don't necessarily run a canteen or you don't have a water bladder or something like that, let's say on your battle belt or whatever else you want to call it, you can at least throw one of these or 2 of these pouches into a general purpose pouch like this, and then next thing you know, you have at least some water on you. Now, you might not necessarily need the water for staying hydrated. There's a lot of things you could use it for. Like I said first aid. You might use it to rinse out a wound or something like that. You can also use the water to clear a malfunction within a rifle. Maybe you dropped it in the mud or something like that, and you need a way to rinse something out. There's a lot of different purposes that water can have that you might not necessarily have to apply to just hydration. So I really like these packs because you can pretty much stash them anywhere, and even if they freeze, they won't burst. And I've had these in a general pouch like this on a battle belt for many, many months, and in use and everything else, I've never had one of these actually open. So I think they have a cool place. They're not necessarily my go-to for actual drinking water, but for the other utility that they bring to the table and the fact that you have water with you, even if it's in a very small amount, can definitely be a game changer depending on a situation. So I wanted to share these with you for sure and give you some ideas about their other uses rather than just talking about, well, you can drink it if you need it, right? So that's the 5 items. Let's go ahead and wrap this conversation up, but I wanted to give you some ideas. So hopefully all 5 of these items are things you either have never heard about or you really thought about how to use them in a different way that brings something new to the preparedness table for you. But at the end of the day, I'm just trying to share different things that I've found throughout my journey of preparedness that might actually help you as well. And if you have more things to add about any of these items or personal experience you have with some of these items, please leave it in the comments below and let everybody know positives or negatives or anything else related to it, so that way we can all learn a little bit more. And at the end of the day, if something you see here doesn't necessarily work for your application, just keep in mind that it might work for somebody else's, all depending on environment and situation. So basically, we could talk about World War III and stuff like that every single day if you want, but I'm trying to keep things moving forward in the sense of there's other things we can look at, focus on, or learn about that might still actually improve our ability to prepare rather than just being worried about everything going on in the world. So hopefully this conversation was good for you. If you have anything else for me at all, you know what to do. And besides that, that's going to be it for Magic Prepper.